Alright, here we are. I'm back. And I've been shuffling, just getting the board ready for my water tribes. And so we're breaking these down by element. This is a tribe all call. So right now, this is for people that are strong in water element. It might be your sun, your moon, or your rising. And Cancer, Scorpio, and or Pisces. If you're looking here at this board, this is actually where I've deconstructed what was never an alphabet, numbers, or astrological symbols. I've actually deconstructed clean energy and proved what happens when nobody splits a baby's head open to get the information through a viable isosceles triangle view of what we'll just call it a birth chart isn't right now. It's how you land your coordinates in a fort that might look like a body. And so while I was sorting this out here, and I will just say, because I hear some of the people that wanted to know who I am will know something about the NSA and the prism and how to get a view, right? And why this is accompanying my reading. Some of you all may or may not understand, but this is a piece of selenite, a crystal prism, and a nice big point of quartz crystal. The crystal point is going to be for Cancer. The selenite wand is for Scorpio, and the crystal prism is for Pisces. I wasn't sure I was going to do this first, but I will explain. First of all, there's going to be a 5-card reading with my decks of cards here that are chilling out with crystals. I have been shuffling them profusely and collecting some song data too that might be helpful for you. We're using 5 cards today. 1 archetype card for light and shadow attributes to tell us a little bit about the situation at hand. We're going to use 1 Rider Waite Smith tarot card to describe the physical material realm. The energetic spiritual realm is going to be showing up with the Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle card. And then I'm going to do 1 card for personal/romance using the romance angels, and an Archangel Michael card for a little bit of advice for each of these tribes. I also just wanted to let you know too, my guides kicked a song out to me from my musical tarot deck, the Art of Love musical tarot deck, that's called My Moon by Mary Lambert. You may or may not have heard that one. And I'm hearing it might be like a good song for some of you, especially if you're going through a moment of realization about relationships in your life and maybe something that came in past, which is very possible right now with the eclipse energies. It's part of why I have the Indigo Gabbro out here. And this reading is basically going to help us bring some clarity to situations that might be in our realm at this time, especially with regard to what the eclipse is on the 2nd. I'm recording this on the 1st. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay some cards out here too. Like I said, Mary Lambert's My Moon actually came up, and I had been shuffling these cards. I don't know where they left off, but I'm being told just go ahead and read them like this. This is about somebody's new start or baby, and what the moon might signify to some of you all, especially if you have ever been pregnant or had a period. This is stanza. Okay, so this is an empty room where looks like an intimate conversation may have been had, but there are no people there. This is a room of alone sometimes, and sometimes it's a room of private matters. And so I'm hearing for somebody this has to do with how a baby may have been conceived. and lies, because that is the falsita card showing up right there too. And that's a cover-up right there. So hearing about some things that might be coming to light about that, and somebody might have something to think about. There's something being written on this document that has somebody thinking about it. Il pensiero is somebody that is thinking. This is the thinking man. Know your own character, she, he, they, other. So that might be one way to start with this. I'm going to go ahead and move these aside. We might use these for clarification a little bit later into the reading. I'm going to go ahead and put down the cards in the order that I had dealt them for. So I mentioned they have been shuffled. Okay. I'm going to put another stone on top of there. Do I want down there? Put this one. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the card that's looking up at me here too in a minute. Some of these end up being like the group reading, what was left behind. Let's see, so we've got physical material realm for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle. And a Romance Angel. One more. Archangel Michael Advice. And before I even get started with these, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the cards that are looking up at me here, because here for somebody, this is about lies about how a baby was taken out. I'm hearing the word abortion, but I'm hearing like lies about that. I was hearing something about this recently, but they're actually showing me a child orphan here, is what I'm hearing. And they're talking to me about a child that was actually put up for orphanage because somebody was unwilling to terminate a pregnancy that they were quiet about. And some things that don't happen when people take on their own King Herod tactics and decide that a life is more valuable than other people's stupid opinions. So this card says child orphan. This might be something that's coming up in some of y'all's realms. May or may not be, but these are light and shadow attributes on the card. It might have a more I would say elusive meaning for some of y'all. If you have never felt like an orphan or are dealing with an orphan, this might be something that's a little bit more of like a hint as to why the context feels a certain way. But light attributes on this card state independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Shadow attributes state feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. And so this might be what's being eclipsed right now for some of you, is realizing that you might have been all alone somewhere. And these are some of the things that I've been explaining about what was never astrology and what the plant might actually be when you're actually extra enough for it to include you in the plan ET, like how to be part of the end times plan. That's what kind of reading this is. So, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. I like half of this because it's explaining that in some cases it's the turning point where we realize what's been going on and that some things just are not worth being attached to, even if it feels like you're going alone. So that is the first thing that was coming up. The second thing right here, you might be dealing with a Taurus. If you're not, it could be you too. Institutions are showing up heavily. These are the things that some people have been conquered and divided by in their mind. You know, these ideas of authorities that actually technically do not exist anymore at 0 point. Thank you. Because we're canceling that. But this is also about union and formalities and things that people will actually do to create a bond or covenant. And that's a major arcana. I'm hearing for some of you, this has a lot to do with legal things that you got involved with in the month of May. And they're saying heavily this year, I'm hearing it's like stuff that people were getting involved with, got their hands on it, like contracts and things that happened in May. And for other people, I'm hearing it's like 5 years of chaos becoming resolved. So the other thing that's coming up here, because that's sort of a physical material realm look, what we're seeing for all y'all on the energetic spiritual grid, it's time for moving on. John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, we've got the moving on card. The Six of Swords is a lot like this card if you're referencing a more traditional deck like your Rider Waite Smith, and we literally see somebody turning their back to the dark and facing off into the light. And this could also be what happened last month. I'm hearing this is sort of like the page that got turned and what the eclipse is all about for some of you. Could also be turning your back on people. I'm hearing for some of you it's like putting an end to a situation, and they're saying they're leaning heavily on Gemini. I'm hearing it might be somebody that's like Gemini, Taurus cusp between those two cards there, but for others of you, it might not have anything to do with that, but I'm hearing Gemini for somebody really specifically. All right, as far as what you have in common in the personal/romance sector, we've got a card coming up showing us to give our relationship a chance. It says work on your partnership. So some of you are going to be faced with opportunities right now as to what kind of partnerships are worth being worked on, because in some cases this is leaving things behind. I'm hearing for somebody this is like an end of a relationship, an end of a marriage. They're showing me this Hierophant and moving on, and somebody feeling like you've basically orphaned us in this family is what I'm hearing, and walking away because they're giving relationships with each other a better chance. That doesn't have to be a romantic card for some people. Sometimes I'm hearing for somebody this is like mom and the kids just picking up and being like, that knucklehead is not real for us, you know, he's done, and moving on. And so I'm hearing for some of y'all it's like giving the relationship with self a chance and the children, so that the children don't feel like orphans because of what's been going on. And that's not for everybody, but a real specific message for someone. Another thing showing up for y'all, write about your thoughts and feelings. This is the advice card from Archangel Michael deck. Let's see if you can see that there. All right, maybe like that. Write about your thoughts and feelings. Card states, thank you. Well, here's a prayer. Thank you for helping me tap into my God-given creativity and wisdom so I clearly express myself and glean insight, blessing, and healing. I think that's great. Some of you are coming to a point right now where it's like, it's just the point where things have changed, where you've already made a decision to move on. And this is a call to action. This is a call to action to be clear about why you are and how you choose to be. So I hope you choose to be art, and pick up a pen, write yourself to a better ending, you know. All right, now let's get on with the tribes. So we're going to start with Cancer here. We have gotten 5 cards to demonstrate these different energies. I'm going to go ahead and move these up for Scorpio and Pisces until we're ready for those. Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. So got Cancer's cards here. All right, what's going on, Cancer? Well, I've got the Fool card showing up for your archetype. get a close look at that picture. You see somebody crying behind this mask that they've been showing. Yeah, they look kind of happy, you know? So it's a good time to shed false appearances, especially if you're at the point of a new beginning right now. And that's wonderful about this eclipse. What I'm hearing is that some of you might want to trim something off your body. Actually, I'm going to make that an advice for everyone who might be seeing this. Like, great time for a haircut, great time to trim your nails, do different things, and know energetically you are pruning what never came. Now, and that might be a good way to think about that. So maybe some things that need to go never came. Now, this card says light attributes, fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. Shadow attributes, using humor to wound rather than liberate. Denial of your emotional truth. So these are the things that are coming up as themes right now over this eclipse period here, Cancer. And this is the picture kind of looks like Cancer to me, where it's like the opening of the moon that didn't happen that way, and some things that we didn't say yes to have to cover up what's really going on. So I'm hearing for some of you, this is like a real test of your own self-patience with how you process your emotions. And during Cancer season, and right now we've got some changes going on with where Mars is in Cancer and moving into Leo and getting ready to go into Mercury retrograde, while this magnet is sweeping over us so that we can galvanize energy and land it in our forms in a way that's safe under a protective halo of trust. So this is like where we get to stop fooling ourselves. And I'm going to recommend, Cancer, if you're having your emotions come up a lot, which could be happening, do something constructive with yourself. Be something constructive with yourself. Because although you don't want to suppress any of this, there's a way to share that passion with your own self as energy that can heal you, depending on how you apply that energy, especially if you're shedding things emotionally. I'm going to recommend getting in water before you get in alcohol. Like salt baths. It's a good time for a salt bath. It would be very detoxifying for you. And also making sure you're writing things down if you need to, or recording yourself, because there might be some things you really need to get off your chest that might need to come out a certain way, and it might be a little aggressive or loud or argumentative or sad or whatever it is that another person would tell you it's too much of, that really deserve to be released. And so sometimes it's just getting that out, so you've got it out of your system, and then approaching if you need to talk to that person or not. But this is a very good time to be in your own truth instead of, denial of your emotional truth. And if you're speaking and using these things constructively for yourself initially, you're less likely to wound another person that doesn't need to be wounded, and maybe just help yourself release those emotions and still get the laugh that you need, because some of it is absolutely absurd and hypocritical. And I'm hearing for some of you, it's just like identifying finally who that fool was in your life, or who you were a fool for. It's like, all right, this isn't happening anymore. So, excuse me. Didn't mean to hit that. So, what's going on in the physical material realm, Cancer? So, Three of Swords. This is a time where somebody is being exposed. Whatever the truth is, could be heart-wrenching. I don't know if you left somebody behind. I'm hearing for somebody this has to do with like a bad medical procedure, or bad surgery. Hearing for somebody it's like finding out that somebody close to you had a heart attack. That can't be for everybody, Cancer. But I'm hearing some of you all really might be dealing with some emotional pain. And for some of you all, this is separation anxiety is what I'm hearing. It's separation anxiety, feeling like it's stormy weather, and being sort of mentally consumed by it in your day-to-day life. And for some of you, this is really where you can take that pick up a pen and write something down thing very seriously. Maybe pick up 3 different pens and write it down. Write yourself what has been coming up on your heart in 3 different ways. I'm hearing that will be a very good grounding technique right now, especially if you're giving something up or getting ready to just rip the can off of some emotions. Because they're telling me somebody's just going to rip the can off of that one. And you might be dealing with somebody in your life that's just causing strife too. That person might be strong in air element, although I'd be reticent to say where. It would most likely be sun, moon, or rising in one of the air tribes like Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And for someone else, I'm hearing it's just like it's something you've been carrying around since May or March this year. I'm looking at May here, but I'm looking at March here, but I keep hearing May. It keeps coming out May. So that might be big for some of you all. And let's see what we've got going on here with the spiritual sector card. Your energetic realm. Well, this is what I love here. Okay, so we got a major showing up here. This is a trump card. That card says awareness. And this card is akin to the Magician in Rider Waite Smith, more traditional style kind of tarot decks. So this is a wonderful thing to see here, because although we might be dealing with some heavy emotional release, and I'm hearing detoxing of just whatever toxic burdens were there at this time, this is showing you that at least in your emotional, spiritual area of your life, energetically, you've got a sense that is everything you need to know, really, about what you need to do, and that you're actually in the position here in your energetic realm to be whoever the magician actually is. The magician is the person that has all of the tools, and they're astute with all of those different suits of energy where they can just be and do and set things into a direction where they're going to yield whatever it was that their intention was. So this is a time to be exceptionally intentional, and to know that if you're not being this intentional, somebody else is in your midst, put it that way. And that might be what's heartbreaking for somebody, because it's maybe coming to a point of awareness of how much magic this other person is, or what kind of impact their abilities around you has created if you haven't been in your center of truth. And I'm hearing for somebody, it's like just realizing that somebody might have played you for a fool in a relationship, where it's like, I'm hearing third-party stuff and like just lies somebody tells about not drinking. They're saying he like goes out with this guy that... I'm just getting a weird story about know your own genders. This might not be or somebody you know, okay? But it's like some pastor, bad pastor, and it's like they've been going out to some club for some weird hookup thing, and I'm hearing there's always alcohol involved, and they get away with it because it's like, well, I'm going out with this guy. Do you know what we do when we go out? He's got a halo over his head. It's like, please. And that it's a big lie. It's been like a two-faced thing. So there are a lot of cautionary notes around this, Cancer, that if you are not speaking your truth and not being willing to take a look at who might be in your world where it feels like you're just getting yanked different directions, or if you had a idea that there's like a third party involvement or something, that's where that's coming from. And I heard very clearly like lies about where the hepatitis C came from in a wound or a mark somewhere. That's going to be positive for I heard herpes. So that's not for everybody, but I'm hearing it's like, especially if you haven't been intimate for like 3 months or since March or something with this person, it's like, it's something you're going to find out. That's not for everybody, but Cancer, that's something that's showing up for somebody. Okay. So this might be a weird time to go seeking medical help. Sometimes, just with the Mercury retrograde thing looming ahead on the 7th to the 31st, a lot of times it's worse during the pre and post shadow for me, because it's literally like somebody shaking you like a box of rocks and then putting a big magnet over it to challenge your cognitive distortion about what's really going on in the false material realm that isn't even here and happening. And how they get away with it every 88 days or so with this elliptical pattern that I'm calling astrologers out. Okay, we'll just put it that way, for not explaining what the particle spinner is for. This has been a roundup of energy where we're determining who the most loving sentient forms are, where they landed, and who doesn't get to play with you like you're some kind of piñata. But I'm hearing that some of you are waking up to who that person is in your life and what role they don't get to play. So great time to cut them off. All right, let's take a look at the personal/romance sector card. Religious factors showing up. All right. So it doesn't necessarily have to be religious, but for some of you, that's what it's about. It's about some religious, like, charlatan, boohoo jerk in your world or circle around that might be putting ideas into someone's head and getting away with pulling you by your ponytail. This card says your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. And for some of you, this is a time to just question who these people have been in your world, because it's like you call yourself this, and it's like selective spirituality according to the books that you say you believe in, because you'll profess that you're this kind of, I'm just going to throw a rock at Christian people that do this right now, and they'll launder all of their belief systems through this book. But if you look at what they're doing and being, and just flip through something like the Pentateuch, and have a look at Deuteronomy, Leviticus, and see how they're eating and how they're dressing and like the things that they say and do, they're really not within the code. And so there's a certain point where we actually call things absurd and ridiculous because of the hypocrisy that is innate within that systematic belief and torture system, where somebody is being treated like a laundromat, so that somebody else can get away with something. So for some of you all, this is just calling bullshit on somebody's insistence that they're a spiritual person in your world, when really and truthfully they're just getting away with all kinds of nonsense and garbage because of the life that they actually live to be true. And for others, this is like why you're getting out. I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like flipsies on this. It's like being aware of what didn't work in your life and actually being like the magician or the priestess that's fallen, in some cases, in love with somebody that is coming into your life that is a match of you energetically, spiritually, and other. And that it's like you don't even care about this door that maybe you just wanted to slam shut with whoever had you crying and keeping some things like in the secretive closet, where it's like, yeah, we're fine, everything's okay. And it's just like, oh, when you're alone. And so this is what's coming up real heavy for some of you all. I'm going to see if I can get a little prayer and advice from Archangel Michael here for you. We've got you and your loved ones are safe. So especially if you're the one that's leaving the crappy husband that really had you in hell, purse string hell. I'm hearing bad oil deal, sold out, dealing with the people on the crypto veil, people that I've been shutting down. If they had anything to do with Nextgate, I've already shut them down. Just know that. But this is for you, that you need to know that you and your loved ones are safe, because somebody is watching out after you. That's what the Elohim are for, and why a lot of us are being very open about what we're doing and what was never really astrology or card reading, and how this is actually the end of the world reading to us what the 3D printer has been and what no longer gets to happen, so that children get to be safe. Okay? Here we go. My prayer, dear God and Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over me and my loved ones. And you can name whoever you want there. Know that they are included in the prayer. Please help me feel secure and at peace, and fill me with faith, so that I may focus on my priorities and enjoy a healthful, happy life. I really like that, Cancer. I hope that you'll consider the people that you have in that prayer, knowing that your energy has followed that intention already. Now go ahead and close this one up here now, Cancer. If you would like me to take a look with your own private personal energy, hit me up at artoflove.me and I'd be happy to do that with you. All right, I'm going to take a drink and got a little water here and some iced tea. Then I'm going to move on to the sign of Scorpio. Oof. We're going to bucket them in the tribe all. I feel like I need to light something before I do this. We ran out of incense here. I'm going to hit a little bit of sage, and then I might strike up another Moldavite. White sage. I'm hearing something about some of these immigration and naturalization papers and finding out what really happened with them. They're saying there might be somebody dealing with a Scorpio. I don't know, if this isn't you, Scorpio, this might be for somebody who might want to cross-reference on another person. But I'm hearing about their naturalization papers and where they actually came from, and a lie that somebody has been getting away with about what happened to somebody's mail. It's like they're explaining it to me as if it's like maybe you were living with somebody, but mail that you have not been receiving is something that the people, like roommate, I don't know if it was your landlord or if it was somebody that was living in your home. You're going to have to know your own story here. But that they had intercepted mail and filled something out on your behalf. And the truth coming out about that, and I'm hearing big legal trouble. So know that. All right, Scorpio. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I need the selenite on this one. Bless you. Okay. All right, Scorpio. Archetype for the month, Thief. Yeah, there we go. That's just what we were talking about there. Somebody's getting exposed, put it that way. Light attributes sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. Shadow attributes, stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. So this is speaking a lot to energetic thievery and where we actually give away our own power before we realize what it is that we want, and we actually claim on divine authority and by being that thing. And in other cases, this is literally a theft, and this could be different things, but they're just pointing at this man's heart, and literally looked like something was trying to poke him between the legs here for a minute while I was looking at that. But I'm just hearing about messy entanglements and something that a little bird told you. A little bird might have told you something about somebody. And it's just being the time to know that it's okay to call things out. And in some cases, this might be somebody else. I hope this isn't you, Scorpio, being called out. But I'm hearing for somebody, this is like the neighbors going crazy and calling you out. I'm hearing like for somebody, this is like, it doesn't have to be you, Scorpio. I'm saying you, whoever this is, that it's like the neighbors and the house calling somebody out for something that happened. And I don't know if I'm hearing for somebody, it was pure speculation and like conjecture, and it's almost like people just flipped out because they don't like this particular neighbor, and how a truth comes out about what a thief the neighbor was. And it's like a neighborhood watch, like an advocacy group is what I'm hearing about, but they're saying it's like underground. It's like pissed off neighbors just forming and making sure that a thief is brought to the front, at least. I don't know if what justice means to you all, but somebody got their butt kicked is what it sounds like. So, okay, let's see what else is going on. Physical material realm, Scorpio. Woo! Yeah, somebody got called out. All right, we got a 6 of Wands here. Might be dealing with people that have a lot of fire in their chart. This could be somebody very easily that's like cusping on Leo is what I'm hearing. Cusping on Leo or something like that. But, this could be somebody that's got Leo, Sag, Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising somewhere, but it doesn't have to be. But I'm thinking that it might be, and that might be the person that got called out, or that person just went away fast, because this is the card of the victor, okay? The 6 of Wands, that's somebody that's being celebrated and praised. They're the one that won in whatever battle happened previously. So I'm hearing like May to June was a thing for whatever is going on here, and it's like they said the ransom being taken away. I don't know what that means, but I heard it very clearly. Somebody's guide said it, and boom, there you have it. It's like somebody being celebrated for their fall. It's like, oh, you thought you was on top of the world there, and blink, and so called out. So, whatever it was, there's no escaping that truth is the thing. And what happens after the 6 of Wands is like somebody standing up there having a fight for how they got up there. And that's kind of what's happening right now in the eclipse energy, especially if we're talking about this as a time frame of maybe the month of 6 June to what's happening in July. And I'm hearing if they felt like they were like this in June, it's like not so much. So somebody was being foolish, and I'm hearing for somebody else this is miscarriage. That's how they lost the baby or something. It's and I hope that's not you. But I'm hearing about somebody that might have been like 5-6 months into the pregnancy and how they feel like they got ripped off. Okay, and I'm really sorry if that's the case. I'm keeping in my prayers here, Scorpio. This is what we're praying for here. It's like putting an end to things that can happen to children, especially when we know better ways that we can take care of ourselves, when we decide to incept on 0 point. What we know now, these crystalline baby halos can actually protect hypersentience in children and giving us more advantageous forms where none of this shit gets to happen, because nobody deserves that, right? Let's see what's going on in the spiritual realm, the emotional, energetic realm. Scorpio, using your John Holland psychic. I'm sorry, I gotta light something. This is. I'll be right back. Just give me a second here. No tunes. I'm just gonna put something on these cards and give myself a second. Alright, thanks for waiting there, Scorpio. That is something I needed to mediate. Just wanted to do a private prayer over this energy before I proceeded any further. Let's see what's going on with the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle card. Alright, so deception and envy. That is a 7, which is, it's like the 7 of Swords, but it's kind of like what I was saying, you know, what happens after somebody is celebrated, if they were knocked over sometimes, might be because of what's coming next, you know, that 7 where you got to stand up and fight for who and what you are, and sometimes that's because you have some jealous haters, and I'm hearing for somebody, it's almost like people were just trying to knock you off the pedestal and trying to take credit for things that were yours because you were good. Maybe you were like too damn good. Maybe you look too good. Maybe you feel too good. Maybe you're too this or too that, according to people that want to take cheap shots and come at you and hit you right in the solar plexus. I call this my put on the bitch shield card, because it's like, you know, if you've had to do this, you know, where it's like you just have your sunglasses on and it's just like, I don't see you, you don't see me. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, that's just how you need to be about it. It's just like literally, like, cover that up when you're going out. You know, even if you're not wearing sunglasses, it doesn't have to be that. But for me, literally, I've had to do that at different points where it's like, you might see me, but I don't see you, and now you don't see me either, and boo. And so sometimes this is just knowing how to protect yourself from people who are backstabby, or who might have been trying to take a piece of you for something that maybe you're not up for grabs like that, Scorpio. So deception and envy can be a lot of things. You might be dealing with people that have air in their chart too, because in the John Holland Psychic Tarot deck, these blue cards are actually our air element. So it's possible you're dealing with somebody, or thinking about somebody, or praying about somebody, or being directed upon by somebody who is in the air element, which is going to be somebody with Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, most likely in their sun, moon, or rising. So, and I'm hearing for some of you, this is just knowing that something has to come out and change. And this might be a light shedding moment, because I see this person here, you know, whoever this person is, look at them. They've got something that they're looking at, almost like laser beams coming out of them. You know, it's like they really can see into something. And I'm hearing for some of you all, this is just knowing something really well and having like a clear vision or an insight about how things work. And that's big. I mean, a lot of you Scorpios are, whether or not you want to admit it, it's like you are extremely sensitive to other people's energies, and you can outsmart them a lot, but you can also outsmart yourself by sometimes just playing like it didn't affect you when it really freaking did. And this is knowing when to rip it off and when to like not. And I'm hearing in some cases this is just knowing that whatever needs to come out, whatever you needed to like shed light on, especially if this is about somebody taking something that wasn't theirs, it's like you know that you had to plan this a certain way because of who's been in this situation, and just it being like on the teeter-totter of two petty argumentative energies, because you know it's like nobody really won here. It's like still lingering on the 5 where it was like people taking cheap shots at each other right before you go to 7 where it's like now you're defending yourself. And sometimes just knowing that you're dealing with like deceptive, envious, trifling ass people, and that you have to plan how it is that you're going to do this, and now's the time to let it go. Gravy train is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it was a whole gravy train of people, and it's like whatever you've been mixing in your bucket. I'm hearing for somebody it's like some weird compost like thing that you got real witchy is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing for somebody else this is like something that mama told you how to do, and it's like the wrong kind of stew, and it's a conversation that you have with somebody more than something you cook. Yeah, and oh, it's gonna be on, and it's time to cut that fool off. All right, let's see what's going on in the, and I hear if that's the case, if you're doing, you're the right one though. You're the one that's right. Make sure you know that you are protected by your own guiding inner light, and sometimes it's okay to be a little sharp-tongued, and I don't think I need to tell you that. Most of you Scorpios, you know how to do you. All right. Let's see what is coming up in the personal/romance sector, Scorpio. Through love. Wow. There's a loaded die right there, and that might be what it is. Some fool trying to go after your boo, I'm hearing. And it's like too many bitches is what I heard. Like, too many bitches, I'm gonna get you. True love! This is the romance of a lifetime, Scorpio. What's going on? Are you trying to get somebody back? Now I'm hearing for some of you, it's like, as soon as you got brave, it's like you turned your back too long, and then it's like, boo, and trying to figure out what to do. And I'm hearing whatever that monkey is that you thought was on his back really isn't a monkey. Well, he might call it his monkey. It's a baby. I'm hearing that, like, for somebody here, now you need to check yourself if this is the case here too, because if somebody has a child and you're playing jealous because they're spending their time with their child and you would like to be in that person's company, you're not going to be able to take them away from their child. You know, you can't steal somebody like that. Especially if they're like psycho, like I am. I'm like psycho dad about mine, and I've got my little quadrupeds over here, and I'm very, very protective over them. And so I'm hearing for somebody that this is like dating like the single dad or something, or like it could be the single whatever parent, she, they, other, know who your genders are, and just being like kind of jealous. It's like you spend all your time with your kid, and you know, I need some time with you too. And I'm hearing for somebody, it's like if this is a long distance move, it's like you're gonna need to take it, because he's not gonna think that you're real, and he's not even gonna care if he's busy with his kid. But if you take the step, it's like that's looking good, because I don't know, it's like you're gonna be supported. The kid looks a little bored, but I hear it's gonna work out. So yeah, they're saying for somebody it's like you've been jealous of the wrong person in one specific situation too. I'm hearing if it's like the single dad guy, that he's really single. It's like he's really single, he's always with the kid, and it's like you've been hearing some shit, because I'm hearing he's hot. It's like he's got people that want him, they're following him, they're there, and it's like he's turning them away is what I'm hearing, because it's like he's too busy. And in some cases, this is like maybe why in your world, maybe you don't feel like he's showing up like this for you, or like you don't feel so successful like that. Maybe you feel like you're getting turned down. Well, one, you might live too far away for him to even be able to get around to you. And two, I'm hearing it's like all of his time is spent with this child. Especially if he's been in a custody battle, because I'm hearing that it's like some real jealous shit that's been going on in his life, and somebody trying to take money from him. It's like some false alimony thing, and he's been paying alimony, and he has not been able to get any relief. So I'm hearing that very specifically for someone. That can't be for everybody. Know your own stories. If you want your own personal reading, I can do this with just your energy, Scorpio. But I'm going to go ahead and move on. We're going to go ahead and close this one up for you with a little bit of advice from Archangel Michael for energy healing work. So definitely glad I've got the selenite here with you. I've been infusing all of these things with a very special 0-point energetic transmission off of crystalline baby halos. So I hope you feel much better. This is a call to get some work done. Maybe you need a massage, a salt bath, some energy loving work done. Here's a prayer for you, Scorpio. Thank you for sending healing energy to me and through me, for my own blessings and for all those around me. Thank you for connecting me to loving and high integrity healers and teachers of energy healing modalities. And that's a weird message too. I'm hearing for somebody, it's like you were dating the energy person, and that's who's coming out to be the... So you might need a new energy healer. Know it if that's the case. That's specific for someone, not for anyone. And if that is you, I'm going to say definitely take the salt bath too, because whatever they were doing is, I'm hearing it's vexing. It's vexing, not hexing. It's vexing. It's something that's like getting in your mind, and it's because how interwoven you were together. So, all right, Scorpio, hopefully that was helpful. If that was for you, take care, and hit me up if you'd like a private reading at artoflove.me. Moving along, we're gonna get to Pisces now. All right, Pisces, you have the prism. Ooh. Wow. Somebody doesn't have nice things to say. I'm like hearing just a really long diatribe of something somebody had to say, and I don't know if they had to say it to you or if you were saying this to somebody else, but I'm hearing like some really like eat shit and die, or a garbage container, and like somebody just like going off on somebody, Pisces. And I don't know if that's you or somebody else, but I'm hearing it was like a bad argument, and somebody needs to learn how to keep their hands to themselves. I'm hoping that nobody put their hands on you, and if they did, I'm hearing they really deserve whatever they get next. Okay, let's see what the Archetype card is that comes up. This one says Trickster, Pisces. So you might have been dealing with something shady. Hopefully you're not the shady one. Sometimes this is a cool card, but other times this is not so cool, because this can actually be sort of a Hyoka energy where you've got like a divine comedian around you that knows how to jest you just right, and it's sort of a magic trick. But other times this is just smoke and mirrors, bad magic, bad dubious intentions, and the card states light attributes, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Shadow attributes state manipulating others through duplicity. So know thyself, because this is a fantastic energy to be able to have if you are using your powers of discernment lovingly, Pisces, especially if you're trying to change something in your world right now. And just be wary, because there might be somebody that is coming forward, or you're going to know if you've had this person in your midst who may have been manipulative. And if that's the person that was spouting off that like diatribe of like foul mouthery, I'm hearing this is somebody that lies about an injury that they have, and it's how they cover it up. They literally I see somebody like covering it up, putting it over their head, where it's like, now I'm hurt and I can get away with this. It's like when people will abuse others because they're not feeling well. And there's a time and a place to differentiate whether something, let's say, I'm hearing this is about mental illness for somebody, where the lines are and boundaries and determining how appropriate it is to continue with certain people, because mental illness is an important thing to address, absolutely. And there are people that will choose to not heal themselves or to artificially inseminate their pain onto another person because they're not dealing with that. And I'm hearing for somebody, this is just like, you're living with a gas hole, with a real gas hole. I'm going to call him a real sarcastic narcissist, gas hole, you know? And that this might be time to figure out where you can take a move away, because it's like, it's a tricky situation, especially if it's somebody you're living with and they have a power to kind of charm you. It's like, you know, they've got a charming thing that they can do, and this is difficult if you're leaving a relationship like that. But I'm hearing for somebody that this is like, you know, somebody in home. For others, this is just giving you a call to action to make sure that you are focusing, especially if you're in a situation like that, on what you know, where your light is, and how amazingly potent it can be to be a Pisces. It's a difficult time for some people because of the conditions and what's going on in the particle spinner. We're whacking up all of this like real juicy Cancerian energy where people are drawn and pivotal to emotions and outbursts, especially on the cusp tip end of what they're calling Mercury retrograde, where it could conjure up things. And so be careful, especially if you have somebody playing weird magic around you. All right, see what's going on in the physical material realm here for you, Pisces. Seven of Swords, El Sneaky Tipitos. So that's showing up right, and I'm hearing you knew what somebody was up to in some case here. This could be what's being exposed here in the month of 7, now that it is July. And you might have something in common with this Scorpio here too, because although this is more indicative of air element energy, like, you know, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this same card in another deck just showed up for the Scorpio, and I'm hearing this might be like a common thread here with this reading. But I'm hearing it's like what you had to say to get away with it coming up. And for some of you, that's a good thing, because it's like truth coming to light. And in other cases, it's what you said that was recorded and exposed that somebody heard, because this is a communication card where maybe you thought you were getting away with something. It was done in the broad light of day, and there were witnesses. See, it's like this person just snuck onto the camp in daylight and getting away with it. You know, they're running away with 5 pieces of silver here. And if this is like a Judas tactic, everybody saw it. Just know that. And if they didn't see it, they heard it. And so something's coming out. And it might not be bad for you if you had to do something risky maneuver to call out a situation here, Pisces. But I'm hearing for some of y'all, this is like not good news, because whoever that person was, I'm not saying it was you, whoever that person was, they are being caught manipulating others through duplicity, especially if there was like any indication that they were taking advantage of somebody's condition. It's just like, it's bad. And that's good for you to know, because some of y'all needed to know that especially if you like made a bold declaration and spoke up and had to like be within your balanced ego somewhere in this to even speak up and say, yeah, I know what happened here. if it was like a Me Too or something like that, it's good because whoever it is, they're getting caught big time. All right, let's see what's going on the spiritual realm here, Pisces. We got 9, suffering in silence. Oh, it's a lot like the 9 of Swords there. Again, dealing with air here. This could be somebody that you're dealing with. I'm hearing strong Libra on this one, but Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And I'm hearing for somebody, this is like knowing that, I'm hearing it's like a 9-month situation. Something that happened 9 months ago. And what somebody has been enduring, watching what's been going on there, and not being able to turn away from it. And I'm hearing it's like, be careful with whatever is in your hand, especially if you're around somebody that takes cheap shots. Because I'm just seeing people with like sharp things in their hands. Like this person's got something sharp in their hand. This one's got all kinds of things. And then you've got this magician here, like trying to paint a certain picture with this thing in their hand. And I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like, watch it if you've been engaging in low-level magic with a mage, because this is the wrong time to be exposed for it. You don't want to do that. If you feel like somebody put a conjure on you, they might have. Some of you all have been dealing with different kinds of esoteric magics and sciences that really suck, because the truth about magic is that it sucks. It's actually a big vortex of energy that was untrained in the dark lens plasma. That's what I've been explaining with my life work. And there are a lot of people that have been going in and like trying to do 5D things and making spells and being witches about it. And I'm hearing if it was something you did like 9 months ago, it's coming out, because that's long enough for something to go through a gestation, like in a physical way with a person's baby or child. And I'm hearing about the roommate. It's like angry roommates that left, or maybe they were like renting from you. It's something in a property and something that somebody left behind in the house that is not going over well. I was getting something similar with Scorpio about what was left behind or what the neighbor had to say. And so some of you all have been watched, and just know it's a good thing, especially if there was abuse in your home. I'm hearing about somebody that just like came in and literally like walked into the house is what they're showing me. It's like, hi, I'm just going to walk into the house. And like the people saw it. And if you have been unable to speak up for yourself clearly, somebody's been watching, and they might not have been right up close there. And it's good for you to know. It's like an emotional, energetic, spiritual protection for some of you, especially if you've been suffering in silence. And for some of you, you need to speak up about something. You might be talking to the wrong people. You might have somebody that you can't really trust as much as you thought, that I'm hearing condescends you. It's like a very condescending conversation. And it's time to speak up, Pisces. It's time to speak up if that's been happening. Now, I'm hearing for some of you, this is actually just going against the grain is what it is, because they're talking about pain, and I'm hearing it's like some weird arthritic thing that somebody was dealing with, and it's like a stabbing pain that they were feeling in their side or in their back, and it literally looks like the person's trying to walk up a staircase or up a hill or something. And I'm hearing for some of you, it might be tricky for you to get around and move right now, especially if you felt like you were debilitated, or like somebody took something from you and left you feeling like you weren't so healthy, or you're feeling like somebody took stabs at your ego, which can happen a lot, Pisces. Sometimes you guys are a lot more sensitive than you even give yourself credit for being. And I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like learning the virtue in prayer and things that you can do in quiet communication, especially if you are in the presence of somebody who might be like a weird healer, is what I'm hearing. It's like some weird healer, like they're saying voodoo priest. I don't know. You might have somebody that does some kind of, and they're showing me like doing something on somebody's shoulder. It's like, might be like cranial sacral therapy or something. But I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's exactly what you need. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what's going on in the personal/romance sector. Finances and career. All right. So this is probably what's going on. Did somebody take something from you? This could be about money that was taken or money that you're trying to invest, but financial issues are a factor in your love life right now, Pisces. That might not be like a love life thing too. This might just be like a personal thing going on, but I'm here for some of y'all. That's even like why people stayed in certain relationships. It's like coming to the point where it's like, I'm tired of being in this relationship and suffering here, and you know, this money situation is the only reason why I've been here, and figuring out the right way to take off with whatever you can. And for somebody, it's like, be careful if you take anything out of the house too, especially if you're like leaving somebody real devious. They're gonna be, I'm hearing like pinching pennies weird with you. Pinching pennies real weird with you. And just make sure that, you know, take what's yours, of course, but it might not be worth planting any more there. And that's what they're saying. You know, I see this person like tending to flowers and roots, and they're telling me that that was like the last thing with somebody. It's like somebody went and harmed your plant or something like that. Like you were growing a plant and somebody went and cut it all up, and it was just a very rude thing to do. It was like done maliciously. And it's not like a financial issue. It's like just knowing that some things can't be groomed or planted around that individual because they're toxic. And that you need to know. This is what eclipses are here to prove to us. Something has been going on for you. And perhaps that's what this like 9-month thing is, or 7 months, because in January on the 5th we had the eclipse that this one is connecting to, and so whatever happened over this period of time is what's under observation, especially if it has to deal with your finances and career. That's all I'm going to say on that. Hit me up at artoflove.me if you want a private reading with just your personal energy, because I can do that too, Pisces. All right, a little advice from Archangel Michael. Have confidence. That's it. Know when to pick up that sword and protect yourself. Know when to shield yourself. Know when to guard yourself. And know when to speak up to the right person about what's been going on, Pisces. Because you don't have to let anybody take advantage of you. My prayer, Archangel Michael, please lend me your courage and fortitude. Help me realize that I am one with all that is divine. Wisdom, strength, love, creativity, abundance, and health. Allow me to feel confident and peaceful about myself in all ways. So I'm hearing for some of you, that is going to remind you of somebody that's in your life. And that person might be a shining example of how to stand up and be bold and honest, especially if things were like cheating you in some kind of way. And just know that there's a prayer there for you, Pisces. I'm going to wish you guidance and discernment over this period of time. And just know that you are divinely protected. Thanks for checking out these readings. Hope y'all are well, and we'll catch you again soon. We're back for another one. Bye for now.
Promise that you'll catch your